Hi, I'm Shane with Salamander Paddle Gear. Today I'm going to show you how to apply our rim rubber for paddles. Both kayak and SUP is what these are for. First step is to take the rim rubber out of your bag, this bag, and I like to cut it at a 45 or a slight angle so that the edges have an angle on, a bevel on them so that they'll glue into the blade better. Second step is I like to mark the paddle where I want it to start and finish. This makes just for a cleaner look. So I just take a felt marker and mark a little inside of where I'm going to sand. And I make sure I cut this plenty long, so when I get to the other end I'll cut it again so it's exactly even. After that, the next step is to lightly sand all the way around the blade on both sides and the edge, about a 1/4 inch, about the width of this rim rubber, and 1/4 inch is plenty. And to do that, just take the sandpaper like so. All you're trying to do here is rough up the surface a little bit, take that sheen off, and give the glue something to adhere to. Okay, the next step after you've sanded is to take the alcohol swab out and just wipe around the entire edge. This just removes the microscopic dust. Once the alcohol's dried, and this only takes about a minute, then we're ready to start applying the Aqua Seal. What I like to do is I like to apply it to each surface, very fine film, and then I like to come back and apply it along the edge with this slightly thicker coat. That way when we push the rim rubber on, it'll gush through the entire area. For doing the edge, I just want to see that I've got a little bit of a build up there. So when I push that edge on, it just pushes Aqua Seal all the way through everything. Once I've finished applying the Aqua Seal to the blade, I then like to give it a minute to kind of rest and set up a skosh. So the next step is what I like to do, and I find this to be super effective, is to run the sandpaper on the inside slot of this urethane. This helps knock the oxidized coating that this stuff gets. It knocks it down and allows the glue to purchase the urethane better. This is a little bit of a pain, but it's definitely worth it. It'll make the difference between this staying or coming off. Just go back and forth a couple times and that's all it takes. After you're finished sanding the urethane edge, I like to take the piece of sandpaper, put it inside the alcohol swab to give it a little bit of stiffness, and then get it started in this edge and just give it a nice rub all the way through. The alcohol will do two things. It'll remove the dust, and it'll kind of soften up that urethane edge a little bit so it's more receptive to take the glue. To apply the edge, you need to kind of roll it onto the edge, and this only works on a thin paddle. This would not work on a wood paddle. Anything over about an 1/8 inch is going to be too much. Once you get it started, it'll just kind of flow and open for itself. Just go nice and slow. And then when you get over to where you've made your mark, I like to just cut that off again at an angle, because what we're wanting is we're wanting that part that goes up onto the blade to have an anchor. And then just kind of work it in there. It will create a little bit of a bead. And that's okay. If you want to go back through and wipe that off, now's the time to do it. Personally, it doesn't bother me. And we've included rubber bands into the kit, but I actually prefer to use a little bit of electrical tape. If you notice that, it's already pushing itself back out, so I'm going to push it back on, and you want to start on one edge and give it a good, really apply it to the blade. And then just kind of work your way around, and you can use as many of these as you want. I may end up using 5 of these. But the whole way, you can see I just pushed it on a little bit more right here. So there's a key spot that it tries to push itself back off. Just like the other side, you definitely, the most critical spot is this edge, the end. So be sure and get that pushed on real well and then taped on real well. Then I just like to set the paddle somewhere out of the way in a warm room with some pressure down on it, so it just pushes that edge right back down into the rim rubber. That's all you got to do. Give it a day to cure and you're ready to go. Thanks for watching.